So just to tell you before this video really gets going, the CPU destroys me for the first like 5 minutes of this gameplay, so be ready for that. But anyway, so I just did this from the perspective of the Detroit Pistons, how I think Blake Griffin can fit in with Andre Drummond and what they got going on. Now we're going to talk about this from the perspective of the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that at one point seemed like they were going all in towards being maybe the 6th through 8th playoff spot in the West, to getting hurt with DeAndre. We're all thinking it's over. Lou Williams becomes Jesus, and next thing you know, they're right in the playoff hunt towards the bottom in the Western Conference. And there were a lot of rumors about them moving Lou or DJ, and Blake Griffin's out, which is a bit shocking because it seemed like they were locked into Blake being their guy, especially with CP3 being gone. Blake's out, man. He's in Detroit. So what the Clippers are getting back in this move, number one, they're getting a top 4 protected first-round pick from the Detroit Pistons, which is probably going to convey this season, unless Detroit just really falls off a cliff here. Because as of right now, there's like 9 to 11 teams that are worse than them, so that's probably where the pick will end up, somewhere around, mid to bottom lottery. Or if Blake just goes nuts and they actually do really well with him, then maybe in the teens or so. So, I mean, that's one thing to look forward to if you're the Clippers. In terms of getting Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley, I mean, Bradley is an expiring contract, and maybe the Clippers, apparently they're all in on the idea of LeBron coming. I don't know if LeBron James really sees this Clippers situation and thinks to himself, oh yeah, I'm all the way in, but I mean, who the hell knows? But if we talk about the rest of this move for these guys, in terms of a contract situation, they got themselves out of Blake Griffin's huge deal, which was potentially going to go all the way to 2022 with like over $35 million a season for the past 2 years, or the last 2 years. So in that sense, you helped yourself out. Gives you a lot of salary relief for, the near future, definitely. And then from a basketball sense, I think a team that is Lou Williams / Teodosic, Avery Bradley / Austin Rivers, the forward combination of Tobias Harris and Danilo Gallinari, and then DeAndre Jordan at center. That seems like a pretty decent team if you ask me. I mean, you are relying on Lou Williams to keep on going nuts here, but he's not slowing down, and you've got a pretty decent pick-and-roll offense there between Lou and Teodosic, and then you got shooters with Bradley, Tobias, Gallinari as well. And then Austin Rivers has actually been pretty okay off the bench. That's like a real thing. Now, is that team ready to win like a whole lot of games in the West? I mean, no, but think about it like this. With this trade and without this trade, the Clippers, you could argue, are in the same exact spot in terms of how good of a team they are. Maybe even a little better just because they got more shooting and more perimeter play. But the big difference is they got themselves out of a very long and big contract, and they got a first-round pick and a second-round pick. To me, that sounds like a success. Now, the only way that this could end up not working out for them is if this team they have now just sucks. And they lose out on Blake's playmaking. They lose out on Blake's ability to create his own shot, even if it be kind of awkward sometimes. And the fact that they gained more spacing with Bradley and Harris doesn't make up for the fact that Blake could just get buckets sometimes, and their offense just falls apart. I don't see that happening, though, because when you got Lou Williams, DeAndre Jordan, who can roll really well, and a whole bunch of shooting, I feel like you're going to survive, man. And then, as far as what happens in the future for the Clippers, it's a little tough to say because this happened so suddenly that websites haven't updated the salaries, so I have to kind of flip back and forth here, but basically, Tobias Harris's contract is up after 2019. Avery Bradley's is up after this season. Boban is up after 2019 as well. So, in terms of whoever they decide to keep and not keep, it gives you a lot of flexibility. I mean, maybe they want to keep Tobias and Bradley, and they'll have Boban's $7 million coming off the books to help him out a little bit. There's also, there's Wesley Johnson, who's got a player option after this season. He probably accepts that. Teodosic has a player option. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't. You've also got Lou Williams, whose contract is up, who's definitely going to make more than $7 million a season, as he is right now. So, I don't know what necessarily the right choice is there for them, but they have options, and that's the key thing. They gave themselves a lot of options, and they got a first-round pick. Now, I am hearing some news about them wanting to still move Lou Williams or DeAndre Jordan without, becoming a losing team. I don't think that's possible. I think if they were to move either one of those guys, then I could see this team falling off pretty quickly because Lou Williams is carrying the offense, and Tobias and Bradley are nice, but neither one of them can be the primary ball handler, and they can't be the primary shooter. So if you don't have Lou there, then I think the offense is going to fall off a cliff. I really do. And then if you don't have DeAndre Jordan, I think the defense is going to fall off a cliff because it's already 19th. It's not like they're that good on defense. So I don't see that one as being possible, but, I didn't think this was going to happen a day ago, so there you go. I mean, there's some interesting choices in terms of who they would re-sign, right? Because if you chose to keep Bradley and DeAndre Jordan accepted the player option, and there is some chatter that he's going to do that now, and then if you could put together a team that could be really something defensively with Patrick Beverley, Bradley, DeAndre Jordan, that's the start of something, if you ask me. Beverley's injury history is kind of a thing at this point, though. Or maybe you choose to let Bradley go because you need to keep Lou Williams for his offense. I really don't know. I don't know what direction they go in. There's a lot of guys, and after I've seen these guys play a little bit and see how they all work and all that, and after we see what they potentially do with Lou Williams and DeAndre, because there is rumors that they still want to get stuff for them, then I think I could make more of a decision on who you should keep and who you shouldn't, because it's too many variables right now, But I'm all for this if you're the Clippers. I really am, because I think there's really a chance you got better as a basketball team just with the shooting that you gained from this move, right? And then you got out of that Blake Griffin contract, and Blake's a good player, no doubt about it, but I mean, he was going to be making $34 million in 2020, and he still would have a couple years after that. That, it's really tough to build when you have that. So we'll see what happens. They got a pick. They got a whole lot of salary relief, gave themselves a lot of options, and I think they could potentially be a really fun team, as of right now. But I have a feeling this team could look a little bit different once the trade deadline is up in 9 days? 10 days, something like that, whatever it is. Anyway, I'm done.